Orange Sky, Sanderson Ridge prequel by Alicia Hitchcock. Chapter 1. The sky was a stunning fusion of purple, pink, and orange that Angela desperately wanted to capture. She held her digital camera up to her eye and focused on a spot on the other side of the ridge. The town was in shadow, and the red and grey rock of the ridge burned bright in her lens. No matter how many times she drove up here, she never tired of capturing Sanderson Ridge like this. "I can't believe you're leaving me," Charlotte said. Her voice dripped with the kind of annoyance and frustration that only a little sister could convey. "You'll be fine. You love it here." "I wish you did." Charlotte harumphed and turned away. Angela looked at the screen and clicked through the photos she'd just taken. She loved Sanderson Ridge. She'd grown up on a farming property 5 kilometres out of town that had been in the Martin family for generations. Her childhood had been spent helping her parents around the farm, attending every event the town put on, and dam swims when the mercury was anywhere above 30 degrees. Sanderson Ridge was a wonderful place to grow up. It was home, but it also had little to offer an 18-year-old, especially one who wanted to spread her wings. That was hard to do in a town of only 800 people. Everyone knew everyone's business. She and Kit, her best friend since forever, could never get up to anything without their parents finding out. It was time to take the next step, and going to Perth for university was it. Angela tried to ignore the trepidation she felt. The initial nervousness she felt would soon fade as she got to know the people in the share house and adjusted to university life. "Come on, Mum will be wondering where we are," Charlotte said, picking up her backpack and heading for the car. Angela sighed as she gazed one last time at the sprawling silhouette of Sanderson Ridge against the dusty sky. Kit's parents' car was already in the driveway when Angela arrived home. A wave of sound, a combination of laughter and loud music, washed over them as they approached the house. Katy Perry provided the soundtrack as they wandered to the back veranda. Kit had obviously stationed herself near the CD player. "Finally," she said as she handed Angela a Coke with a mischievous glint. "It's spiced." Angela took a sip and almost choked at the heat of the alcohol as it burned the back of her throat. Kit always made everything more thrilling, as if a going-away party wasn't exciting enough. They'd talked about leaving Sanderson Ridge so many times over the years. They dreamed up multiple scenarios, but Angela's favourite was where they moved to Perth and lived near the beach, worked at a cafe during the day, and headed into Northbridge every Friday and Saturday night. It sounded more thrilling than anything Sanderson Ridge could offer them. They'd both applied to uni and been accepted, Angela in business and Kit in arts. But then Kit's mum had been diagnosed with cancer, and everything changed. "Oh, I love this one." She dragged Angela closer to the speaker as Flo Rida sang about the club not being able to handle him. They danced and laughed until Angela's dad, Jack, called out to them. Kit nudged her head in his direction and shimmied her way out to the veranda. Angela nudged Charlotte and gave a quick smile as she sat down next to her. Charlotte's face lit up, and Angela felt a familiar pang of guilt. "Can you turn that down on your way out, love?" Jack called to his wife, Susan. Angela's mother turned down the volume with one hand while she balanced 2 bowls of salad in the other. Jack waited for her to deposit the dishes on the table and sit down before he continued. "Right, we all know why we're here. Our little Angela is off to uni in the big smoke." Everyone cheered. "We're bloody proud of her for getting in. We're proud of you too, Kit. And we're glad to have your mum here with us tonight too." He looked over at Kate Brodie, sitting with a rug around her despite the heat still in the air. Her first round of chemo had gone well, but she wasn't in the clear yet. He gave her a quick nod and then lifted his beer. "To new beginnings." Everyone echoed his words and chinked glasses. Angela looked around the table. She'd known these people her whole life. It was going to be tough to leave them. But to her, The simple barbecue, complete with tons of laughter and generous helpings of her mum's delicious coleslaw, was the perfect send-off. After homemade tiramisu, her favourite dessert, she stood and patted her full stomach, then locked eyes with Kit and pointed towards the darkness beyond the veranda. They walked down the familiar track towards the dam and sat at the edge of the jetty with their feet dangling in the cool, murky water. Angela leaned back on her hands and lifted her head to the sky. The Milky Way left its path across the sky littered with stars, while the half moon gave them just enough light to see. Kit handed her a bottle of wine and took a swig before returning it with a sigh. "I wish you were coming with me," Angela said. Kit took a long gulp of wine and then plunked the bottle next to her. "Me too. Things didn't really go the way we planned, did they? Bloody cancer." "Your mum looks good, considering everything she's been through." Angela watched Kit wrestle with her emotions before settling on her usual bubbliness. "Oh well, it is what it is. I'll come visit you in the city and we'll live it up." She pointed a finger at her. "And you make sure you come back here whenever you can." "I will. It's hard though. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. I want to do something with my life, but I don't even know what." Kit wrapped an arm around her shoulders. "Whatever you do, Angela Martin, you'll be bloody brilliant at it. You can do anything you set your mind to. Now, how about a little dip?" She leaned forward and dragged them both downwards. Angela let out a high-pitched shriek before she hit the water with a tremendous splash, sending droplets flying. They came up spluttering and laughing. She was sure going to miss Kit.